Hello, welcome to another tutorial on Java. So today we are going to cover about Java strings, and we are also going to cover different kinds of loops, or we call them conditional statements within Java. As any programming language, there's always some kind of conditional logic, if else, or you want to repeat a certain piece of code n number of times, or sometimes there are loops which you want to run as long as some condition is not met. So those kind of stuff we are going to talk in today's video. So let's get started quickly. So this is the same program we have been doing from previous two videos. This is third video today, and we're going to start working on Java strings. We have covered primitive type data types which are available in Java in the previous video. If you have not seen that, please do see that one, and then we can continue on this video actually. So what are strings in Java? So basically, sometimes we want to store, let's say you want to store a big sentence, let's say, you want to store, you have something like hello world. And as you know that, we don't have any primitive data type which could hold this big of a thing. So, in a primitive data type, if you remember, we have this character data type which can only store one character. And then others were like, numbers, like byte, short, int, long, they can only store numbers. So in order to store a string like this, let's say you want to store hello world, Java provides a data type called string, and let's say we name it as. So this is the syntax for if you want to create a new string in Java. That's the flow. You give a string as equal to, you can give the some value here. Now there are a few things you can do on the strings. There's a way like the string provides it's a built-in Java functionality. So it provides a lot of operations you can do on this string. Let's say you want to find what's the length of this string. So you can just let's say as that if you click on this one, it provides length. So it returns how many characters on this string. So like hello world, we know that it's a 5 or 10, and I think should be returned 11 actually. So let's see how many returns. So let's see. So you can say length of s equal to, okay, so like this, and we have to close this one, and let's say run it. Oh yeah, see, you see length of s equal to 11. And there are other operations you can do on the string. Let's say you want to get a substring. Let's say you want to starting with the 0. So in the strings, the positions are like this is 0, first character is 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it goes, the index of these characters. So let's say you want to a substring of length 5. So in order to do that, you can do let's just copy this one so that substring of s with length 5. So what you want to do here is instead of length, what you want to say is there's a function called substring, and you can provide the starting position. If you provide just 0, it means it will start at 0 and it goes all the way to the end actually. So let's see what this does. It will return you the whole string as it is. So it should just return you, yeah, see, substring of as length 5 equal to this as hello world, because we didn't specify the length of this one. But in addition to starting index which we say 0, we want to say second index which says what's the ending index, and we say 5. So let's see, if you go up to 5, it returns you a string of length 5 actually. So, and you can always go to this, it provides all the functional and all the methods here, what this supports. So you can see everything. So let's say you say, or you can also say character at, let's say you want to find what's the character at position 5. So we know it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see, it's going to at 5 equal to, so we can just say s dot character at 5 and just close it and this is, so just clean it and run it. S dot character at position 5. Okay, why didn't you print anything actually? S dot let's see what happened here. Oh yeah, so I'm not sure what happened, but it, okay, so last time you see, so it printed O because that's at that's the ending index actually on this one, so O, but I think last time we put 5 and the 5 was really a space here, that's why it was showing a space here actually. So you see this one here, now it should just show space, so actually it printed space, but we didn't see that actually. So yeah, so 0 1 2 3 4, so on the 4 we have O, but on the number position 5 we have space, so that's why it was there. So there are different kind of things, operations you can do on strings. So I think that's all I want to cover over the strings part. But then we want to go a little bit on the other statements, like programs have like conditions. Sometimes you have to make a decision within the program. If this condition meets, I want to do this part, but if it doesn't meet, then I want to do this one. So let's take an example. Let's say we have a variable, and let's say we have some variable called age, and we say age is 50, and you want to perform some operation. If the age is greater than 50, you want to do something, but if it's less than 50, you want to do some other thing, some kind of logic. So you have this if statement, and if statement you can say age greater than 50, and you just see this text here, and in the else part. Okay, so what you can do is, if the age is greater than 50, you want to do, let's say, special logic, age is greater than 50, but if it's less than 50, then maybe you want to do different logic, so you can say age is less than 50. So as you can see, I put this age 50 here, so which is not greater than 50 really. So I think we should just can say, if it's greater than equal to 50, we want to go this path. If it's otherwise, we want to follow this path. So in our case, the first thing should be printed, age is greater than 50. Now let's change just to 40 and click it here, and now the age is less than 50. So you see, this is just a conditional thing. You say so it just evaluate this expression, and it says if it's true, then it goes this path. If it's false, it goes this path actually. So that's one example of if else statement. But it could get more complicated too actually. If you want to say there could be more, like else if is greater than 40, then maybe you want to do this one, otherwise maybe you want to do this one actually. So age is, let's say, so I'm just trying to nest. You could, theoretically you could keep going like this. You could have more and more if statements, but it makes the code more complex. So usually there are different constructs available. If you want to really go more than 3 labels or 4, that's too much. So here I'm seeing 40, and if I come the last part, so it means less than 40. Okay, so let's see, okay, so let's run it. Yeah, age is more than 40. If I do 30, age is less than 40. Yeah, so you see, we have if statement, then we have an else, but if another if statement, then else part of this one. So you can keep adding on to this one. Okay, let's go to next thing, which is called a for loop. So for loops are used when you know when you want to run a certain set of instructions, or certain piece of code fixed number of times. Let's say you have a loop and you want to repeat that loop 10 times. So you can have a loop. It says for, let's say, int I is equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, and I will explain in a second what are these different things in this loop are. So let's say I'm just going to print that I is equal to this values actually. So what I'm trying to do is I have a for loop which I want to run 10 times. So this is syntax. So you see, I declare a variable I start with 0, and this is the initial condition. It executes only very first time when the loop starts. So it starts I with the value of 0. Now this is a condition I want to check. I want to see if I is less than 10. So obviously first time is 0, so I will be less than 10, and after that it will print this one, and after I print it, then this is the next thing it want to do. It want to increment I by 1. So I plus plus means you want to increase the value of I. So it was 0, next loop it will become 1. So 1 will be still less than 10, it will keep going. So it will start printing from 0 and it will go all the way to 9 actually. So let's see how the result comes here. Oh sorry, I print 1 here, that's why. Let me just see. I have to print I actually, because that's the value which is being. So you see, I is going from 0 and all the way to 9. So basically this got executed really 10 times because it started from 0. So you can put it like 50. It goes that way. So it depends, so you have to just understand the syntax. This is a starting condition. You start I with 0, or I mean, you don't have to start with 0, but that's the way it works most of the time. That's the but you could start, let's say I want to start with 2, and so instead of 0 now start with the 2, and it goes all the way to 9. So it's up to you how you want to and do this, but that's the way it works actually. There's also something, let's say if you want to say if I is equal to 5, then you want to break out of the loop actually. Let's say let's say you're looping through some values, and one of the values is say 5 or whatever, and you say, oh, I found it, I want to get out of it actually now. So if I is 5, then you want to break. So what will happen is we'll start with a 2, and it goes up to 5. It printed 5. Now I is 5, so it came out of the loop. So it didn't really went all the way to 10 actually. And another thing you can do is instead of break, you want to say continue. So break means you want to come out of the loop, but in case of continue, you don't want to come out of the loop, but you want to skip the current iteration. So I'm saying if I is equal to 5, I don't want to do anything with I equal to 5, so continue to the next, which is 6 actually. So it's not really going to print 5 actually. Let's clean up this one first. So you see 2, 3, 4, and you skip the 5, and it goes 6, 7. So continue means if certain conditions happen here, I want to just continue to the next iteration of this loop. So I don't want to continue. So that's what it really means actually. Continue means go to the next one. So you understand, the break means you want to come out of the loop. Continue means you want to skip the current iteration of that loop actually. So this was a for loop, and another loop we're going to talk about is this called a loop called while. While, and let me just while some condition is true, execute this code. Whatever you write here, that keeps executing. So it's kind of like going until this condition is, as long as this condition is true, it will keep executing this code actually. So let's say we want to let's say we have some int is equal to whatever 40 that I meant, and we say, let's say we will ask the user to enter the age for us. So let's say, and we will continue executing this loop. So we say enter age, and if you remember from previous one, we use this scanner class to get the values for this from the keyboard from the user. In order to get this value, we have to use the scanner class. So, and we say here age equal to sc dot next int. Now I'm saying here while age less than 70, keep executing this loop. So I'm just going to print something here so that we know that it's inside the loop. System.out on the print age is less than 70. But okay, so this is a typo here, print. Okay, but you know, first time you ask the age, then you enter the age, then you read the age. But now it goes within the loop, and it will keep continuously reading the loop, going to the loop, because age will never change. So it means we have to go inside the loop again, and we have to ask the user to enter the data age again, enter age again, because otherwise the value of age will never change. This while loop will keep going continuously forever. So what we are going to do is say age equal to same thing, you know, we just read it again. So we ask the user to enter the age, and you know, if it's less than 70, it keep going. But if we, as soon as we enter more than 70, it should just exit. So let's try to run. So we say enter age. Let's say we enter 50. Okay, age is less than 70, so it says enter age again. We said 55. Enter age again. Let's say we want 80. Okay, it didn't ask, so it means it exit out of the loop. So actually we could have put a statement here to just show, you know, out of loop now, to show that actually. So let's see, quickly do this one, run this one. Enter is 44, 56. We enter now 80, should get out of the loop, now. So we are done with this one. I think the video is getting bigger, so next time I'm going to talk about this another called switch statement.